Bro.
Whitney?
Yeah.
Whitney?
Yeah.
Girl.
So what happened to like the 24-hour warning? What's going on with this?
Girl, I need to put this on. It's gonna take 5 minutes. You told me to come back, so you gave me permission to come back. I'm here.
Take note of the fact that there is no ma'am or Miss Moore in his address. And I do not know this man. His tone is casual, like we're best buds. Second, I never gave him permission to come back. The instance that he's referring to is the initial illegal entry at the top of March. I woke up indecent with him standing outside my bedroom door. I had to tell him to leave 3 times. I told him with the door cracked that this is not a good time, pleading with my eyes unsure of what he would do if I pissed him off. I was in fear for my safety. He protested, saying he only needed a minute. At that time, he never told me what he was repairing. There was no warning or emergent reason for them to be in the apartment. I hadn't asked for a repair. They replaced the HVAC back in November. This is at the top of March. It'd take them almost 4.5 months to attach a pipe to the same unit.
Girl.
So what happened to like the 24-hour warning? What's going on with this?
Girl, I need to put this on. It's gonna take 5 minutes. You told me to come back, so you gave me permission to come back. I'm here.
No,
Can
I
put it on
asked
there
you
real
all
quick?
for 24-hour warning. Look, I understand that you do the maintenance. Here, I'm clearly still sleepy. I wanted to be recognized that not only did he let himself in again without so much as knocking before he opened the door, but now he has ventured the rest of the way into the apartment to get his things, and I did not invite him in. All after talking over me and not allowing me to speak. So, as far as if you gotta go ahead and put it on, you can go ahead and put it on, because apparently they keep sending you out here and acting as though that's okay. But
Right now.
thanks, I appreciate it. Terrance never did come back with that 24-hour notice. What he did do was turn my AC off externally in 80-degree weather. On Sunday, May 2nd, it became unbearable and I called the emergency line. On May 3rd, maintenance showed up at my apartment saying they turned the AC off because I wouldn't allow them to put on the drainage pipe. But you can clearly hear me in this video telling him he could go ahead and put it on despite his illegal entry. Something is leaking. And it's audible. You can hear the hissing. Don't know what it is, but it's audible. I'm about to turn this off and see if it stops. And here's the maintenance man.
It's okay. Hey, what was that last thing you wanted me to do for you yesterday?
I turned it off. Something is hissing in there.
You turned it off?
I turned that off, but something is hissing in the hallway.
The light in the kitchen, yeah, that's right. Because it started raining. Okay, all right, cool. So your brother? All right, I got a leak to get to, and then.
Is that flammable? Whatever's leaking? Because I turned the stove off too.
Hold on one second. Let me call you back.
Is the leak flammable?
What leak? I'm trying to find out what's going on.
I just want to know if I can turn the stove back on. Did you hear me?
Yeah.
So I can turn the stove back on or don't?
I would say just hold on for a second because we're going to have to get a torch in here to seal this, okay?
Okay. So then that's been leaking the whole time. That's the leak that I was talking about. So you're going to use a spray bottle to find the leak?
Talking about this one?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's just water liquid. That was just air too.
But you're recharging it?
Yeah, I'm gonna recharge it once we seal it.
But the thing that you're recharging it, or the thing that's leaking, that's where the Freon goes, right?
Yeah, it goes through the zones, but that was just air.
Because you're saying the Freon is empty. But it was cool when you turned it on. So it wouldn't be cool if the Freon is out. I work on cars, so I do I recharge the AC on.
Over here or over here?
It's really all throughout, but it was stronger in here this morning.
What kind of smell did you smell?
It's like a strong chemical smell. It's causing my stomach to hurt.
Not smell nothing.
Do you smell it now?
I do.
You do?
Yeah. And I have video of she and I
smell?
having an exchange.
Smell?
Of she and I having an exchange.
Girl, upstairs? Was it a bad exchange? Was it your fault?
No. We had a conversation. She came down. She said, I see what you're talking about. But I can't really describe what the smell is. It's kind of chemical, kind of like something's burning. So it's odd that you all come in fresh from outside and can't smell it.
You said like something's burning. See, you got two different things. You're saying like chemicals, like something's burning. See, when you say something burning, I mean...
So
Maybe you smell the closet one more time? Open it. But I didn't smell it.
and you don't smell basement or mold in that closet either, I suppose. From the active leak that was there for like maybe 2 weeks before you all came to see about it. Maybe longer, I don't know. I have to go back and look at the timeline. But everything's on video. Well, do you recall us talking about a chain? That's on the inventory sheet as well.
We don't do those.
You told me
Those
that you
are
would get one.
residents. No, I didn't. Those are residents. Put those on their own.
I wanted to, this is why the first thing I said was I'm coming down there. You called and you said I'm coming down. You know, I said I'm coming down there.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't want you to feel like you're being ignored. Or like this.
But I recorded this months ago.
The Freon leak, correct? Thought about that, and my guys came over here, and they didn't smell the Freon leak.
Okay. But I have a Freon leak on camera.
You have a Freon leak.
Yeah, it's on camera. How did he not tell you that he had to come in here and weld it? Open that up if you will. Excuse me. At the top of that little pipe right there, you can see where he welded it because there was a
From
Freon
Freon?
leak. Active Freon leak, yeah. And you were telling me that Freon doesn't enter into the apartment at all, that it's all outside, right? Is that what you told
It
me?
is outside.
Okay. So those two pipes right there aren't for the Freon.
I like that you put dates on it to when he changed it and his initials. That's really good. So that was done last time I forgot. That's very cool. Like I said, I don't smell anything and she doesn't smell anything, but I'm being told that you have some type of stipulation that you don't want anybody in here when you're not in here. Sometimes that is not possible.
That's not what I said. I said if they come in as the law requires, can they leave a note? And can they only come in if I've requested a service?
Okay, yeah,
the law
we
requires. That's outlined
only will
in your
come
lease.
in. First of all, we will only come in if you request it, unless there's an issue going on where they have to go through your apartment to, maybe there's a leak behind the wall from that one, and they have to grab the key because they have to come in through yours.
Yeah, there just was no issue, and he came in. I have him on camera coming in without 24-hour notice. He leaves out, says he's going to go and get 24-hour notice. He said that he had to change that drain pipe, and I told him, well, you're already here. You might as well go ahead and change it. He said,
Have
I'm
you
going to
been
get your
through
24-hour
something?
notice.
And this is something. Have you been through something somewhere else before? Where
I have it on video.
I know
No. Tawana said that she had to beg Whitney not to put me out. This is Tawana with 180 Place. And he didn't put it on there even though I told him he could. He turned my AC off. I called you on the emergency line because it was 80 degrees plus outside and it was hot in here and the AC wasn't working. He comes to the door with the other guy and tells me that he had to turn it off because I wouldn't allow him to put the drainage pipe on there.
24. I'm confused about 24-hour notice.
Before you enter the apartment, you have to give 24-hour notice.
If
I didn't
you
request
call
anything
in
for
a
5
request-
months.
Well, but you just said you was consistently requesting things to get fixed.
I put things on a list 5 months prior to that.
Okay.
They did not address those things. They changed out the HVAC unit because the coils were busted, but they still did not fix the leak that was in the line. And that continued for 5 months. Then he came in here saying that he needed to put a drainage pipe on. And he entered without 24-hour notice 5 months later, and it's all on camera.
So for 5 months you had a leakage?
A Freon leak, and I had been telling you about it.
For 5 months?
For 5 months. And so I barely used the unit at all because I knew that it was leaking, and there was nothing I could do about it. So I've been exposed to a Freon leak for that amount of time.
Yeah, well, I need to see some.
And still, you all claim that the Freon does not come into the apartment. Whitney just said that it's all outside,
So,
as far as you know.
And you said 5 months?
5
We
months.
let you go 5 months?
5 months.
okay, well, I think you need to read your lease about entry and stuff, and we will have another maintenance come over here. That way we can have a third set.
You said you think I need to reread my lease?
We'll have a third set of nose and eyes.
I just want to clarify what you said.
Everybody
I need to
be
reread my
here.
lease. Okay. When can we enter the unit 1 through 7? We, landlords and repairers, servicers, contractors, and other agents must give you at least 24 hours of notice of our intent to enter and may only enter at reasonable times except in the event of the following. In case of an emergency, changes in weather, which may pose a danger to the property. Between the hours of 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. for the purpose of providing regularly scheduled periodic services. Provided that prior to entering we announce our intent to enter. Between the hours of 8 a.m. and 8 p.m. for the purpose of providing services you request. Number 4, pursuant to court order. Number 5, where you fail to maintain the premises in a condition materially affecting health and safety. And that can only be done after 14 days are given for response to a written notice, unless it is an emergency, when accompanied by law enforcement, or when you have abandoned or surrendered the premises. Again, I did not request any repairs that were related to a drainage pipe. That is not a regular service. The drainage pipe was missing because of negligence. They should have attached the drainage pipe back in November when they replaced the HVAC unit. They did not, and there is no schedule for that maintenance. Beyond this, they took the water bill out of the rent in the middle of the lease. The lease dictates that we would pay $50 additional in rent for the water until RUBS begins. RUBS is a ratio utility billing system. However, the amount stipulated in the lease cannot change without the agreement of all parties. It would have to take effect in a new lease cycle. Let's say we don't even debate that. The lease says until RUBS begins, which means that they are expected to reduce the rent by $50 to account for the water bill after RUBS begins. The complex has approximately 292 units. An additional $50 a month per unit is $14,600 a month. From February until now, an additional $86,000 has been collected. If it's not returned to renters, and that's supposed to be the agreement within the lease, where does the money go? Food for thought.